Namaskar. You see, in advertising, there's a very old saying. And the saying goes that bad ads can sell good products, but good ads cannot sell bad products. A lot of advertising professionals will vouch for it. No matter how good an ad is, but if your product is bad, it will never sell. Because you can make the consumer possibly try it once, but that consumer will never try it again, and that one consumer will ensure that the 100 consumers connected to him doesn't touch your product. So no matter how good the ad is, how brilliant the ad is, it will never be able to sell a bad product. But like they say, even if the ad is bad, if the product is genuinely good, no matter what, people will go and buy your product. Why am I talking about this? I am talking about this is more so a lot of us, especially our politicians, especially our political parties, they have convinced themselves that, you see, policy kuch bhi ho, whatever the policy is, if I spend X amount of money into advertising, I can be seen as a person who has executed or who has launched a very successful policy in this country. This has become a norm now. Every second politician is doing it. And of course, the topic that I'm going to talk about today is an article that I read in Scroll. An article that I read in Scroll where they said 56% of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao budgets, 56%, more than half of the budgets for Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao has been spent on advertising alone since 2014-15.
और अब ये बात तो निश्चित है, क्योंकि पहले मेरे जैसी लड़कियों को पढ़ने लिखने का मौका ही नहीं दिया जाता था, पर अब और नहीं। पिछले 2 सालों में मैंने देखा है बदलाव। जो लोग मुझे किसी काम का नहीं समझते थे, वो लोग मुझे आज इन किताबों से दूर नहीं रख पाए। अब बस पढ़ाई करेंगे, घर वालों से लड़ाई नहीं, स्कूल जाएंगे ज्यादा, घर बैठेंगे कम। ऐसे ही बचेगी भारत की बेटी।
भारत बदलने का एक अथक प्रयास प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी के नेतृत्व में।
Now, some of the figures are very startling. Like I said, 56% of the funds have been spent for advertising. Only 25% of those funds has been distributed to states and district information released by the government. Only 25% has been actually spent on ground. Rest everything has been spent with our good Prime Minister's photograph and with schemes where it is promoting the Prime Minister more than the scheme itself. The scheme was launched in January 2015, as they say. And the concept of the scheme was attempts to address the declining child sex ratio and other issues of women empowerment in India. Now let me take you through some figures. And this is something that Minister of State for Women and Child Development Virendra Kumar told the Lok Sabha, that the government has allocated 648 crores for the program in the last 5 years, and out of which 364.66 crores was spent on advertising. The government of India has earmarked 648 crores for this program, and out of 648 crores, 364.66 crores, which tabulates to 56.27%, was spent on advertising alone. Only 24.5%, which is 159.18 crores, was distributed in the states and districts to actually make the thing happen on ground, to actually help empowering women, to actually help educating people. You see, as an advertising professional myself, let me tell you, if such campaigns are called social behavioral change campaign. Such campaigns are actually created to bring about a social behavioral change, to bring about a change in the thinking in the society. Now, how this normally works is not only a television campaign or a campaign that you see on print alone cannot bring about a social behavioral change. It doesn't happen in the society. A lot of this has to be activities on ground. A lot of this has to be actual interaction with the consumers. In advertising, consumers, in this case, citizens. A campaign like this, a behavioral change like this can be only brought about with tremendous amount of activation, which means people going down to the ground, conducting workshops, conducting one-to-one programs, talking, educating people, educating villagers, educating people that a woman is as important and as efficient as a man. A girl is as good as a boy. This has to be educated to the last common denominator in India, and that more so, bulk of the budget should go in people, in volunteers, in social organizations, in social activists, in social workers, going down to the ground and telling and teaching people. Saksharta Abhiyan actually worked, especially in a state like Kerala, is because there were thousands and thousands of workers who dedicated themselves to go to every village and actually teach people, educate people, make people aware about education. And that's why it became a 100% literate state. When the polio campaign happened, bulk of the campaign was when people went from village to village, ground to ground, talking to people about why that their child should be administered with polio, pulse polio drops, and more importantly, actually demystifying the myths that were attached to it. A lot of people thought that it was some kind of a ploy to make people important. That too happened when the pulse polio campaign happened. There was a huge contingent of people, huge volunteers who went to villages telling people, no, polio is possibly, pulse polio is important, otherwise your child could be invalid. The concept was educated. That's how a message is spread. That's how a social behavioral change is brought about. A prime minister's photograph and saying, you see, Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, hold your child, take a selfie with your child. These are not things that will have serious implications on ground. These are not things that can bring about serious change on ground. This can help a party and a person. It cannot help the society. Second thing is, I think even BJP should, and possibly the Prime Minister himself, should also now make himself aware that, you see, excess of anything, including advertising, will harm him. I will ask you a simple question. Think about Arvind Kejriwal before he was the Chief Minister. Think about Arvind Kejriwal before all the ads that he started releasing with the Delhi people's money, with the public money.
फिर केजरीवाल की सरकार आई और केजरीवाल मुख्यमंत्री बने। सबसे पहला काम उन्होंने किया कि बिजली पानी के बिल कम कर दिए। अभी पिछले महीने मेरे घर का बिजली का बिल सिर्फ 1000 रुपए आया है। यकीन ही नहीं होता। मतलब हमारी खुशी का तो ठिकाना नहीं रहा। हमारे लिए तो केजरीवाल बहुत ही मददगार बन के आए हैं। बाकी सरकारें तो कहती थी कि पैसे नहीं हैं, फिर केजरीवाल के पास पैसे कहां से आए? दरअसल केजरीवाल ने दिल्ली में भ्रष्टाचार खूब कम कर दिया और जो पैसे बचे उससे हमारे बिजली के बिल कम कर दिए।
क्या फ्री के फॉर्मूले से ही दिल्ली का विकास होगा?
रोज टीवी देखते तो ऐसा लगता है जैसे सारे बेईमान इकट्ठे हो गए, केजरीवाल के हाथ धो के पीछे पड़े। रोज कुछ न कुछ उलट सुलट बोलते रहते हैं उनके बारे में। इतना गुस्सा आता है इन सब लोगों पे, खुद से तो कुछ होता नहीं है, सारे मिलके केजरीवाल के पीछे पड़े। रोज भगवान से दुआ मांगते, हे भगवान हमारे अरविंद को सलामत रखना। आइए हम सब मिलकर अरविंद का साथ दें और ये कसम खाएं, न रिश्वत लेंगे न रिश्वत देंगे।
Think about Arvind Kejriwal's image before the ad and think about Arvind Kejriwal's image after the ad. His credibility before the ads were far higher. I am not for a minute saying that because of the ads his credibility came down, but what I am trying to say, the ads didn't help his credibility at all. He was far more credible amongst the Indian voters than he is today. After hundreds and hundreds of crores of ads spent. If there's hundreds crores of ads would have actually helped him, his credibility should have gone up. Logic. But it didn't. Narendra Modi was far more popular in this country before 2014. His popularity has not gone up. His popularity has come down. The point that I'm trying to make out of this editorial is not just being negative about saying, okay, more money was spent. Of course, more money was spent. Of course, more tax money was spent. And of course, that is very sad that the government took a decision of this sort. Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao was a fantastic step that the government took. If the money would have actually been spent on educating people on ground about the importance of girl child and actually going out and empowering women, it would have helped women a lot, and possibly Mr. Modi would have had more voters in 2019. But well, all of that didn't happen. His photograph was seen by everyone. In my earlier advertising days, I used to remember a lot of clients would want us to do brochures where he would stand with a very poor man and giving him a piece of cloth, or he would go to village and sit and try and eat something which he would not even touch it in the morsel, he would not even take it to his mouth, but he will sit and take a photograph with a poor man and and show as if he's eating food with him, so on and so forth. And he would ask the advertising agency to make a brochure. Why? Then we would understand that this man is pitching for the Padma Shri. And I must have met at least 4 or 5 such people in my life, in my 27 years of advertising career. 4 or 5 such people I must have met. And I don't even remember one person who actually successfully got a Padma Shri because of all these brochures and all of that. End of the day, going back to the same funda, good advertising cannot sell bad products. Bad advertising can still sell a good product. That is a fact. Namaskar. For more such episodes, please subscribe to HW News and press the bell icon for instant notification. Also, do give this video a like and share the video to spread the word around.